Oh, hello YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am going over my January TBR list. It's finally 2021. Can you believe we made it? What? I'm so excited. I think I got a really good TBR to start the year with. I picked some books just because I felt they were wintry, and I picked some books because I was just like, that's what I want to read, damn it. It's 2021, I'm living my life. So, I don't know, it's a good combo of things. I got a bunch of different stuff here. Let's just get into it. This is what I'm starting 2021 off with. First things first, I have The Black Company by Glen Cook. This is the book of the month for the Blades and Bodice Rivers book club, and I am kind of excited for this one. It came out in the 80s and is one of the first grimdark fantasies, considered one of the first grimdark fantasies. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it's about because the back is just not very descriptive for the blurb. But basically there's this lady, and they literally call her the lady, so she's just a lady. And she has arisen, and then people think she's evil, and then some people think she's okay, she's good. And then these, the Black Company, they're like mercenaries, and they're like, whatever, I don't care if she's good or evil, we got a job to go find her, so that's what we're gonna do. So maybe it's cool, who knows, I don't know, I'm excited for it. So if you guys want to read the book and join in for the live show, it's going to be on Saturday, January 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Leanna's channel. So that's Leanna's Library. Come hang out. We're gonna have some special guests. Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany will be there. And we kind of just decided that Mara from Books Like Whoa will do it as well. We didn't ask her, we just kind of decided. So she might be there, she might not, I don't know. We kind of decided for her. We'll see if she actually wants to do it, but there'll be some fun special guests and it'll be a good time. Let's start the year off right with some grimdark fantasy. At the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I have How to Catch a Queen by Alyssa Cole. I have been wanting to read this for so long. This is one of the books I pre-ordered. It finally came in. I'm obsessed. So it's kind of like a spin-off of the Reluctant Royals series that she's been putting out. This is the Runaway Royal, so I think is related to that. And we're following Shanti. And she kind of has like an arranged marriage to King Sanyu. And so they get married, and she's kind of an outsider in his country. The people are like, meh about her. And then like, she's kind of feeling like an outsider with her husband because he's not being good, but he likes her. So he's like, oh, I gotta shape up. And then like, shit goes down in the country and she runs off. And he's like, oh no, I gotta go find my wife. So it's kind of a rom-com, I guess. I don't know. So far, I've been loving all of these books in this series and spin-off series by Alyssa Cole. So I'm obsessed. I had this pre-order for so long. I'm excited to read it. I'm finally going to read Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I'm so excited. So we're following Fitz in this one, and he is the bastard son of this prince. People find out that he fathered this kid, and they're like, get out of here, prince, we don't like you no more. So the prince like has to leave, and Fitz just stays behind. I don't know why the kid wasn't also put into exile, but he just lives in the stables at the castle with like a motley crew of odd friends and animal friends. And he's also studying to be an assassin, but like his teacher works for this other political family and is like trying to kill him too. Like Fitz is having a hard time. But I guess Fitz wants to save the kingdom still for some reason. And I don't know, this is one of those kind of like, I don't know how old this is actually, but like it's referred to it kind of as like a classic fantasy story. Okay, so like it came out in 1995. It's got some age on it. Yeah, it's like 26 years ago this came out. Like that's a fair amount of time ago. So yeah, it's always talked about in like fantasy circles as being like incredible. And I've always wanted to get into this series and I just hadn't done it yet. So I was like, let's do it. Let's start off 2021 getting some shit done. So I'm gonna read this one and I'm pumped. I'm also going to read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This has been highly recommended to me by many people, and actually my friend Delara gave me a copy of it because they love this book and they're like, oh, you need to read this here. And I was like, thank you. This is kind of my favorite setup in sci-fi, where it's like a crew of misfits doing stuff. Like if you just say it's a crew of misfits in space, I'm already like intrigued a bit. And then this one actually has some like cool other things going on as well. Our protagonist is Rosemary. She just joined the crew of the Wayfarer, and it's got everything she needs. You know, it's a place to stay, she gets to explore, and she gets away from her past. Like, she's like, yes, this is the place for me. And then also, the crew of the ship is kind of all like a bunch of misfits, and they all get along, and so it's kind of like forming a found family. And then, you know, they get the one job they can't pass up. And of course, it's like super dangerous. And she's like, oh no. So peril ensues. And it's a group of misfits in peril doing stuff, probably saving the galaxy. Love it. But yeah, this book is like highly recommended to me by many people. And my friend gave it to me. So, you know what? I'm going to read it. I'm gonna get shit done in January. I'm always very ambitious with January. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna read all of these books. And then like, I don't know if I will, but I'm hoping to. I'm also going to read Xeni by Rebekah Weatherspoon. I just like, I bought this so long ago and I just hadn't read it yet for reasons. I don't know, just hadn't done it. But it's got a lot of really cool things in it. I believe this is like a body positive romance. I think both the male and the female are plus size, so that's cool. I haven't really read a book where both people are plus sized in it, so that's like an interesting take on the romance. So we're following Zeny, and she is going to upstate New York to clean out, I think, what was it, her late aunt's, like apartment. So she's gonna clean out the apartment, and she meets this like adorable Scotsman named Mason. And the thing is, her aunt has been playing matchmaker from beyond the grave, because I don't know what the aunt did, but she devised some thing where like Mason and Zeny have to get together for some reason. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And also I have heard interesting things about the smut in this book that I am curious about. I'm like, did that happen? Did it happen? I don't want to say what it is because I feel like I can't say it on YouTube, but like there's some interesting sexual moments and I am curious about it. But anyway, I've been wanting to read this for a while. I just hadn't got around to it, I guess. So yeah, it's on deck for January. I'm also going to read Architects of Memory by Karen Osborne. I have been wanting to read this for a little bit, and I got the ARC actually from Tor. They were very nice to send it to me. I just suck at reading things in advance. I know. That's the whole point of an ARC, but like... So we're following this pilot named Ash, and she's kind of down on her luck. She lost everything in this war with this alien species, and now she's sick, and she's like, oh, I'll be damned if those aliens take my health and my life too. And then I guess she's off on a mission, and her crewmates, they find this weapon of genocidal proportions. And of course, when you find a weapon like that, it's not all this cake and rainbows. Like, bad shit will follow. So I don't know. They gotta make some stuff happen with this weapon because, like, uh-oh, it's genocidal. It's bad. So yeah, it's space adventures with peril and a misfit crew. I love that setup for sci-fi. If you haven't already figured that out, I've been talking about it a lot, but like that's my favorite setup. So if you tell me a sci-fi book is about a crew of misfits doing stuff and peril ensues, into it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I haven't read it yet, and I just want to do it. I've waited long enough. Also on deck is The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. Here's the thing. I actually had this on last January's TBR, I believe, and I didn't read it. So I'm like, hey, why not try it again this January? Maybe it'll stick. And it's not like I think it's bad. Honestly, I haven't heard any bad reviews for this book. Overwhelmingly positive reviews are the only thing I hear. And it's like Russian folklore. It's very wintry. Like this is like snowy AF on the cover, so it makes me feel like winter, like January. It's like vibing for me. And we're following Vasilisa, and I think she has like magical abilities. And she always like protects the house from like evil by giving little offerings to spirits. And then she gets a stepmom who's like, stop leaving offerings for spirits. And she's like, all right. And then she stops, and then like all hell breaks loose. So she has to save the family again. But yeah, it's like Russian folklore and overwhelmingly great reviews. So I mean, I failed last January, so I'm hoping this January it sticks. Fingers crossed. You know what? I'm going to read Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. This is a prequel to a prequel because I believe the original book they put out was Practical Magic, which they also made a movie of in the 90s. And this one is the prequel to the prequel. So we're back in like Salem witch trials era. And I vaguely know what's happening in Practical Magic because I saw the movie when I was a child. But like I know there's this curse in the family, and I think this is the origins of that curse. So it's the 1600s, and we're following Maria. She's kind of a foundling, an orphan, raised up by this woman who kind of teaches her the secret arts. And then she falls in love with this guy, and he screws her over and leaves to America. And she's like, hell no. So she gets on a boat and follows him to Salem, Massachusetts. And we all know what's going on in Salem. Nothing good, especially for people who do witchcraft. So she gets there, and that's when the curse happens. I don't know if she does it or it's done to her. I don't know. I know there's a curse of some kind, but like, Salem witch trials, like I'm into it. I don't know. I'm just kind of vibing with it. And Alice Hoffman's written many books and is a fairly popular author. I haven't read anything by Alice Hoffman. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? I don't know. I'm gonna get into it. Also on deck is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. I've read one other book by Simone St. James and really liked it, and so I wanted to read more by this author. And then this book, so wintry, it's snowy, it's like blue. I don't know, like blue and snow is like January for me. Those are what I vibe on in January. So like the other book I read by Simone St. James, The Sundown Motel, it is parallel storylines. There's like the 1950s and then there's 2014. So it's two time periods kind of intersecting, and there's ghosts and like this old like school for unwanted girls and mysterious deaths that happen there, and now there's ghosts and stuff, and like it's bleeding over into the present day. So I am expecting actual ghosts, and I'm excited because there's so many books where you're like, ooh, it's about ghosts, and the ghosts are metaphors, and I'm like, no, give me some ghosty shit. So I think there's gonna be real ghosty shit in this book, and I'm excited about it, so I'm into it. I'm very excited. I just want ghosts and stuff. Last book in this TBR is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir. Oh boy, okay, so this is the finale of the Ember and the Ashes series, and I love this series intensely. It's very, very good. And it's been like 2 years since book 3, so I have been waiting a very long time for this book. And I don't know how things are gonna shake out, so part of me's like scared to read it, because like, what if things go awry and there's no more to fix? Like, I don't know. I'm like, part of me's scared to read it, but the other part of me wants to know what happens desperately. So I'm just gonna rip the band-aid and do it, okay? I'm doing it January. I don't want the wound to fester, so to speak, so I'm going to get into this. This is the last book of a series. It's hard to describe what's going on here, but it's kind of loosely based maybe around the Roman Empire and their conquering of other peoples. We're following Laia of Sarah. She is one of the conquered people. And then we're following two other POV characters, Matthias and Helene. And both of them are from the conquering race of people. So there are some problems there. Matthias has his own thing going on that I'm not even going to get into. But there's like ghosts and djinn and like all kinds of magical stuff. And like, my favorite character is Helene, but like, she is problematic, but very fascinating and conflicted about things. But I love her intensely. I really like that character. So I'm so into this book series, and I'm scared and excited at the same time, but it's a big finale. I'm finally gonna know how everything ends in this book. I'm speechless a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna like loosely mention these two books because these books were almost on my TBR list, and then I was like, no, I'll have too many books on it. So these are like alternates, just in case I go awry from my TBR list. I already have these on deck as like alternate books to pick up, and that is Bayou Moon by Ilona Andrews. It's another one of the Edge series. Not their best work, but like still super fun, honestly. Like I have a review coming for the first book of this series, On the Edge, which I read in December. And, you know, spoiler for it, you know, it's fairly clumsy for Ilona Andrews, but them at their clumsiest is like still pretty good. So I don't know, I'm interested. I want to see like more from this series. It's just gonna be a fun book to read. Also, another spoiler a little bit, Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the first full length in the Murderbot series, and oh boy, spoiler alert, I like just chain read Murderbot books. So many of them. So yeah, I have this in my hand and I'm like, why am I not reading it like right now? Like, I'm obsessed with Murderbot. Why am I not doing this again? So yeah, these are my alternates. They might be on the list too. I don't know. Okay, so that is the idea for the TBR for January. There's a lot of different stuff on it. So many things. Oh my goodness, there's so many things. Basically, I picked some books just because of vibe for winter, and I picked some books because I've just been really wanting to read them for a long time. All kinds of different stuff, but basically it's January. I want to like hit this year running. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you starting the year off with? What's your first book for 2021? What are you reading? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!